be out in nature, you know? There's something about it that reminds us where we came from. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans relied on fasting, relied on walking through the forest, finding some berries, finding nuts, seeds, fruit, harvesting for vegetables, and maybe not having the weather to keep them going. Hiya. With all this, I've been doing intermittent fasting for the past 2 years, and I decided a few months ago in the summer I wanted to test this out properly. I wanted to find out what it would feel like to get the benefits of fasting, to see if I could mentally go through it. Physically, how would I feel? Would I be able to pull back some of the negative psychological and physical effects that were happening in my body from all the shit I got through in 2019? Don't follow my advice. I'm just experimenting so you don't have to. Speak to your doctor before doing anything. Blah 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 blah. Please don't sue me. Okay, it is day 1 of me fasting. I have joint issues. I have for years. My back cracks a lot. Since 2019 I've had a lot of inflammation. I think a lot of that has been removed since quarantine, getting better sun, drinking less, better sleep cycle, eating better food. I think it's nearly 6, so I'm about 24 hours into a fast. I don't really feel anything. I don't think I feel necessarily good or bad. I think there's like a subtle clarity, a subtle lightness. This idea that we constantly need food in our bodies doesn't really make sense. It doesn't add up. How did we even get to this point in history? You can tell I have a bias towards it. I've been fasting and I've seen benefits. I'm not going to go into this with that bias. I will let the results speak for themselves. I'll see how I feel, I'll see how I look. I could eat. And so, my goal is to drink 3, maybe 3.5. Let's just see what happens. A little bit of an update, my head feels weird. My head, I wouldn't say it's necessarily, whoa. Got so used to that level of caffeine that when your body doesn't have it, you just don't have energy. So yeah, I just feel like some head stuff happening. It's like my skull's opening up. That's actually one thing I would recommend more than anything. Try and walk a lot and try and keep yourself busy with tasks. I've got a lot done today, and if it wasn't for that stuff, I think I'd go crazy. A lot of the time we eat out of boredom. If you do want mental clarity, it has apparently a lot of benefits for that. So one thing I'm definitely going to keep on top of to make sure that I don't get too much of a pendulum swing of mood from left to right. I'm going to try and keep that centered as possible by meditating. A bit of meditating here and there throughout the day. I don't know if it's just the hay fever, but my eyes also feel a bit like stingy. It could just be from the pollen in the air. I've been sneezing a good bit. I feel both very zen and present and in the moment, and also like spaced out a bit and a little bit dizzy. I just looked at my phone and realised I woke up with 6 hours sleep, and I definitely sound groggy now, but I woke up fully awake. Not as energetic, not as clear-headed as I was last night. I'm a day and a half into this fast now, so apparently a lot of the things you experience when you're fasting are your body's way of healing. It's like it's getting rid of the mucus in your system, but you need to experience some of it on its way out of your system. It's fun to actually have time physically and mentally to focus on stuff. It's not just the act of eating, but the act of like digestion, the act of taking energy away from your body when it could be focusing on other things. At the moment I'm working on a podcast. I'm editing an episode for 50 Flicks of Grey and Jay, a new podcast I started recently. But this morning, with this clarity and with the ability to not have to stop and eat, I'm just powering through. Okay, podcast finished. I don't know if I'm just seeing things or if it's accumulation of getting the sun over the last few days, but I feel like my skin looks really good. This should be part of the whole thing, you know. Just to look up a list of benefits. Your testosterone should go up, your immune system should see a boost. There's a lot of saliva in my mouth, and I feel a little bit busy or a little bit distracted. It's 4 o'clock. I'm definitely been craving food. I found myself yesterday just like watching people eat donuts on YouTube. If you're gonna do this fast, I don't recommend that. I'm really slumping at the moment. Like, even using my laptop, I was trying to click on a file and my focus was so bad that I couldn't figure out the difference between the word I was looking to click on and the word in my head. I don't normally have that kind of severe mental fog unless I'm exhausted. So I think I'm just gonna lie down here for a minute and do like a 20-minute power nap. I'm just a little bit wiped out. I love nothing more than like a coffee and like a biscuit and a wrap and an omelette, some beans. If while fasting you have a bad breath and a lot of whiteness on your tongue, even when you haven't ate anything, that is toxins leaving your body apparently. So I think that's a good sign. Obviously, if you're fasting and you need to go about your everyday life, be careful not to be around people too close. Now we're currently in the 48th hour of a 72-hour fast. Oh my god, I can't wait for this to be over. I mean, there's been some enjoyable aspects of this so far. Editing a podcast, finishing my YouTube video. So yeah, that's been nice. One more day. Day 3, baby. Yeah. So I woke up at 6. This is definitely related to the fasting, because no other morning through quarantine have I woke up prematurely. Interesting thing about my joint update, to hear just one at the very top. Usually just more of a crunch, like, but it's just a. I feel incredible. I feel really good at the moment. I know a lot of good benefits start to come in at like 2 days. From what I can tell, inflammation isn't just something that happens between your joints or in your body or in certain organs, and also being the culprit of pretty much every disease. But if you're drinking alcohol all the time, if you're smoking cigarettes, if you're eating deep fried food and you're not eating real organic fruit and vegetables, things that grew out of the earth, that is real living food, expect your body to not be working efficiently and expect your brain to be a reflection of that, having mental illness. And with saying that, one of the main reasons I decided to do this was because of that. Was because I was feeling really up and down. Very often during the day I would feel antsy. I'd be standing at the kettle waiting for it to boil and I'd feel like on edge. I'd feel like I was ready to pop, like I was going to blow. And so that's one of the main reasons I've done fasting. But for now, I've got a few hours left. We're now an hour and a half away from me being able to break my fast, and I cannot wait. It's 7:02 and I've made a cup of apple cider vinegar with some hot water, and I'm I'm just gonna sip this for the next minute or two. This alone is gonna be quite powerful. It's so strong. I mean, apple cider vinegar is strong anyway. Tastes sweeter than I remember. It's weird. It's great. It's weird. Soup. Oh my god, like chewing with my mouth feels so weird. I probably should have blended it more because I don't think you're necessarily meant to chew solids yet. Even using my teeth in this way feels weird. I'm not really fully enjoying this. Try a blueberry. Yeah, that's where it's at. I really started to enjoy that after the second bowl and after heating it up. I just had to get used to chewing again. They don't recommend chewing at all, so yeah, try and keep things as liquidy as possible, both for your mouth to get used to, but also your stomach just for digestion. One of the worst mistakes people do when they break a fast is eat too much, because they're like, I haven't eaten in ages, and you might feel hungry or you mightn't, but you think you have to. But then when I had that second bowl, I felt like that, it came back to me, like, oh yeah, I do like eating. This is tasty. Stuff on my face, food. I think less is better, especially on the first day. Oh my god. Oh my god. So that's really good. That's good stuff. Okay, so some time has passed since filming that video, so a few things I need to go over. The first few days after the fast, I was juicing. I was making sure I put a lot of healthy things back into my body. That is almost as important as the fast. It's like how you break the fast. You know, that first day I had some fruit and then I had some vegetable soup that I made. No additives, nothing in it. I made it from scratch. Very few ingredients. One of the main reasons I did fasting was to feel clarity in my head. I definitely did. I found fasting to be an almost meditative experience. I found a lot of stillness within doing fasting, and all the time seemed to stretch wider, all this spare time and spare space. It isn't the most social of things to do. So much of what we do with others is to do with food, and even in lockdown, even if you're not going to restaurants and meeting with people, you'll still maybe at home, you know, you'll still have everything circling around the meals of the day. It's a very important part of the human experience. So I want to make it clear that I love food. There's been times in the past where I've discussed fasting as a healthy option to certain people, and I've had it dismissed as it may be triggering to others who have eating disorders. If you're not in a healthy place with your relationship with your body, your relationship with food, maybe don't try fasting. Maybe figure out what is happening in your head first, and why you have these issues about yourself and how you see yourself, because I don't think this will fix it. I think you need to find issues with past trauma or find a way of self-love and self-acceptance first before you try anything like this. Also, keep in mind, I've been intermittent fasting every day for nearly 2 years. My body clock is in sync with fasting, and to go from that to a 3-day fast is a healthy transition. I wouldn't recommend going from no fasting at all to all of a sudden a 3-day fast. It's too much. So my body was quite lean before and after, so I wasn't intending to lose weight. You will, and if you're doing a lot of exercise in those fasting periods, you will lose weight, and a lot of people do that to maintain weight, and it's great. I do it for the mental clarity. I do it for the health benefits. Main reason I wanted to do the 3-day fast was also to see if my joints, my aches and pains, the clicking in my body would go. It did for the most part, but it's been back in the last few months, and I've been big into running, and with running I've noticed some clicks and joint stuff come back. But instead of doing a long fast, what I've done is I've learned from the fast, and so I've reduced sugar from my diet, and I'm just doing a lot more walking, a lot more stretching, and just keeping the body fluid and the joints, you know. I'm also eating a lot. I want to make sure I'm not losing too much weight while doing long distance running. At the moment You know, I'm not bad. I'm grand. Got a bit of, you know, I've got a bit going on. A few days after the fast, I was actually at a friend's surprise birthday party. It was only a few of us gathered. It was summer 2020 and things were okay in Ireland and you could have a few people together, and I did drink. I would not recommend drinking too much after you've done a 3-day fast, or close after it at all is not a good idea. There was so much information in this video in those 3 days. I was going through a lot in my body and my mind. I couldn't fit it all into this video. It just wouldn't make sense. It'd be too boring. But it would make sense. It does suit a podcast format. And so there's a link down below, down in the bio, to that episode if you want to follow me through that actual process of the 3 days and hear all my thoughts of what I was going through. In case you were thinking of doing the same, I think the next fad diet isn't the answer. I don't think fasting is the answer for everything. I don't think it will cure all your problems. I think counseling could be greater than any diet. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for following me on another weird experiment. Peace and love, food and beer.